Before today's video starts, I wanted to remind you that I'll be at the second annual Badlands Bash on June 8th at the Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana. They have several events planned, including the Beat Pete Serpentine Time Attack, barrel racing, drag racing, and the long jump competition. There's going to be a ton of creators there from the Sport Quad community, and we hope to ride on June 7th, 8th, and the 9th. So hopefully we have some great weather, and we hope to see you there.
Well, hello everyone. Today's video is going to be about some of the headlight options I have for the Raptor 700. These are also compatible with the YFC 450, and they are made by the company called Restoquad. If you're unfamiliar with Restoquad, they are looking to spearhead some new lighting options within the sport quad industry and actually have several new products that they're looking to release later this year. Before we go further into the video, I do want to clear up some confusion that some customers have had by seeing similar products for sale at a reduced price. Because Restoquad has shared some of their specifications and designs with certain manufacturers, in order for them to have exclusive production rights, they would have had to have paid a ton of money up front, which was not realistic for a smaller company. Some of those manufacturers have undercut Restoquad's MSRP by doing factory direct sales in order to recoup some of their manufacturing costs, which is why you see similar products for sale at a reduced price on sites like Amazon and eBay. So if you want to support the company that created the lights, marketed the lights, and offers customer support, then the best way to do that is to buy directly from Restoquad or through our website, petehager.com. And we are very proud to be selling their products, and they are going to have several new ones coming out later this year that will be exclusive to the Restoquad brand. So I'm super excited to be on board and to help create more awareness for their product line. And with that being said, in today's video, we're going to do a nighttime comparison to show light output between the OEM headlights, the version 1 headlights, and the version 2 headlights from Restoquad. And I'm also going to touch on the light bar setup that I have. And I also have not really done much night testing with these products yet. I personally have upgraded to these lights before the daytime running lights, the DRLs that are currently on. They just really give the machines a more modern look, and a lot of people seem to love them. So I'm super excited to see what the light outputs are like at night. And I know that light bar from Rigid Industries is super impressive. So we will touch on all these in today's video. And without further ado, let's get into it.
So just a quick overview on what my Raptor has installed. I've got quite a few products from Restoquad on here. I've got the version 1 headlights. I've got their street legal harness, which allows me to run blinkers if I want to. I've got rear blinkers and rear tail lights that have been added. And I also have a separate harness expansion that is used to connect the rear blinkers together. The street legal kit also includes their indicator switch, which has little lights on it for the blinkers. And it also has a horn, which is mounted right down here. This is the horn. So if you want to see the blinkers in action, the DRLs turn into your blinkers essentially. You can also wire up your DRLs so you can have full-time amber lights if you don't like the white. So we're going to turn this off, get back to the regular running lights. So the headlights themselves, you do not need everything I have in order to run these headlights. You can do the headlights as just a standalone product. In order to power the low and the high beams, which I can turn on here, we'll turn on the low beam and the high beam. In order to power those two lights, it utilizes just the OEM plug connector that you have on your regular lights, so those are completely plug and play. In order to power the DRLs solely as themselves, I'm going to link Odyssey Off-Road's video. Joe did a really good job installing and showing how to power the DRLs in either amber or in white on your machine, so that'll also be linked below. So that's what's essentially on the machine, and now I want to open up the V2s. This is how some of these products will come from Restoquad. I also have a set of the stock headlights here. The headlight bezel, as they're called, which is that outer rim, needs to be removed off your OEM lights and installed on your aftermarket lights. I have a set of the headlight bezels that I decided to get from them. I also have some of the grommets that Restoquad does sell. If your rubber grommets that go in these little holes are kind of worn out, or if any of them break in the process of removing or just anything like that, they do sell these. We're going to open up the V2 headlights. This is how they come from Restoquad. Really nice quality foam. It looks like they have updated the packaging a little bit from what I have with the V1s. There's a business card in here, some extra stickers. Here is some wiring that comes with for the DRLs if you do not have the harness like I have, the street legal harness. So essentially you get 2 white wires. You would run one of each of these from each headlight back to your fuse box on the Raptor 700, and you're going to wire it into your headlight fuse so that these come on when the key turns on. So we're going to set these to the side, and let's get these out of here and finally see them.
quite a bit different headlights display, and I feel like these are heavier almost than the V1. So we're gonna set the headlights right here. Let's touch on some of the other things I have here. I had already briefly shown you the grommets, and then this is a plug and play connector in case you don't want to run that white wire as specifically a hard wire. I'm gonna try not to make this too confusing. So this is your plug and play connector that comes OEM. This is for your high and your low beam. And then this is a separate connector that is for the daytime running lights. You could cut this little black plug off here. You could hardwire all of it together and if you never intend to remove the headlight. The nice thing about this little expansion they have, which is called Harn-7, Harn-7 would allow you to hardwire the white to the red or the green, and then you can plug this in directly to the headlight, and then essentially this allows you to make your headlights removable without having to snip the white wire every time. And this is an excellent route to go if you don't get the plug and play street legal harness. So that's a little overview on what this little harness is for. And here's one bezel. Looking pretty much exactly like OEM. And here's the other bezel. I'm actually going to use this little foam pad. This will work out good. This is one of the most satisfying parts of the process, which is pulling off the film for fresh lenses underneath there. We're going to grab our bezel cover. These should just slide over, and we'll see if these are easier than the OEM style. You normally will hear some snaps as it goes. I'm just making sure it's pretty lined up. We're gonna give this a little push down. That went on. I think this is the one that was stubborn before. It doesn't want to go. I'm gonna grab a flathead here. So I've got a fairly wide flathead. We're gonna give this little bottom a push. There it goes. All right. Can't say I advocate to for sure do it that way. That's how I got them on the other one, but it does look like it's seated on there nicely and it should not come off. So I'm gonna get the other one on here. All right, that wasn't so bad. The more I look at these V2s, they are really cool. They have like this vertical LED, I don't know what to call it. I am not an electrical person as far as knowing all the terminology, but these are definitely, I think, supposed to have better output than the V1s. We will find out tonight. So let's open up these little grommets. All right, let's move back to the wheeler. So headlights are super easy to remove. You've got your little 10 mil bolt right here. And then this whole thing just pops over some of these tabs. Just want to kind of wiggle it loose. All right. That looks pretty good. Let's give this a little push with the flathead. I just can't get a good pull on it there. Okay, I got it. So the only thing I forgot is this little metal sleeve is going to transfer over to that top grommet. I think I got the front one. There's that plug. And then these are for my DRLs down here. All right. So we're going to set up the tripod camera here, and we'll turn on the key and check out the startup sequence. Wow. All right. Okay, I'm officially torn. I really like this V1 DRL, but man, just the running light on this is so much brighter. You can almost see maybe the difference here. This is just a really bright strip. Let's see what the low beams look like. Wow, they're bright. So the low beam on the V2s is this vertical light bar, pretty wild looking. And we'll turn on the high beam. Let's see what it looks like from this angle.
Interesting. I'm seeing more light output on the left side with the low beam on, but then with the high beam on, the high beam looks to be brighter on the right side. So definitely some differences in the way these lights perform. Let's turn off the actual lights and just go back to the running lights. It's very goofy to look at it set up like this. I can't believe it, but I think the V2s are growing on me by the second here. They do look really sharp. So yeah, this is pretty much purely cosmetic. I mean, we'll find out functionality-wise in the dark, but the majority of us, I think, don't really ride at night. But if there is a stark contrast, that could be your real deciding factor, besides the daytime running light style, between which light you decide to pick up for your Raptor or YFC. One more thing before we get into the light testing, we got to talk about this handlebar mounted light bar. I got this pretty much strictly for Little Sahara last year, and then had some issues with my TPS acting up, and the quad ran weird. Riding at night at Little Sahara is really popular, and they've got all those awesome woods trails, and it just looks super fun. The Restoquad headlights are an awesome upgrade over stock for output at night, but this is going to be on a completely different level. I decided to more or less spend the money once, and this is a very expensive 10-inch light bar. You could also get a 6-inch light bar, but I figured why not just go the extra mile, get the bigger light bar. It's actually growing on me. It does look pretty sweet. Here is the box that this came in. This is the SR Series Pro. I watched a couple videos, did some research at the time. I settled on this. I want to say Baja Designs was my other option. It seems like with these types of lights, the more you spend, the brighter your output for less power draw. So I wanted it to be a very efficient light. On this side, you've got all these different, I guess you could say flood or beam patterns. They've got flood diffuse, driving diffuse, flood, driving spot, hyper spot, flood spot combo, and spot driving combo. I went with spot driving combo because I talked to somebody from Rigid, and that's what they recommended for my miles per hour, which I think I had estimated like, I don't know, at night, 30 to 40 miles an hour would kind of be maybe average speeds on the high end. It's not like you're riding crazy fast, especially in the dune twisty environment at Little Sahara. You can see your lumen output, and this is actually the highest at 9,500 lumens. The rest of them average 7,500 to 8,000 lumens. Amp draw 3.57 amps, so it's actually drawing less amperage than all of them except for the Hyperspot, which is for going like 100 miles an hour, and I know that because I accidentally ordered it and had to do an exchange because I didn't pay attention to what I was clicking on. They even have a little diagram here for what they do, and this is mine right here, the spot driving combo. So it's got a wider flood pattern and then some depth to it. You could do spot flood combo, which would be even more up close, you could say, for floodlights. And then here's your hyper spot. Don't buy that unless you're driving a Baja truck, and your other patterns. So you can see here in the light, since it's a combo, you've got these center bulbs and then these outside bulbs. I do not know what all these are called. I just know that that's essentially how this all works. And this is mounted to a Lonestar Racing universal light bracket, and these are fairly affordable. It was like 35 or 40 bucks. This didn't fit directly into this bracket. I had to just bend it out just a little bit, but everything has worked really great. This is actually wired directly to the battery, so the key doesn't even have to be on for me to turn it on. There's just a switch right here, and there's this light bar it's blinding. It's crazy. I have not done an all-out night ride with it. I've played with it at night, but I haven't done like a ride. Huge benefit to that is it's going to look wherever you're pointing. These are fixed, but they have a fairly wide throw on them, but that is going to be much safer, and it's obviously much more expensive and higher output. Definitely let me know down below what you guys have done for your handlebar mounted light bar setups. You could also do a fixed light bar. People do pods on the bumper. There's a lot of different lighting options, so don't take what I've done as the only option by any means. Let me know what you guys think of that, especially you desert riders, Glamis, dune riders, night riders. I don't do a lot of night riding, but I should have no problem seeing when I finally do. So hopefully a little overview here wasn't too confusing. Just wanted to give you essentially an idea what it's like when you buy the Restoquad lights, what's going to go into installing them, getting the DRLs running. Even if you don't ride at night, they are such a cool cosmetic upgrade that you're kind of the odd man out if you're with a group of other Yamaha riders and you're the only one that doesn't have them. Love looking at them in the bumper cam when people are chasing me in footage. They're also safe. It's a much brighter light to have on the trail, and that DRL is constantly on if the machine is on, so it is a safety thing too. There's a lot of perks to these. So with all that being said, I'm gonna put the OEM lights back on here and get ready for tonight's little test. It's going to be a little tedious to swap all the lights here later, but I'm going to do it for you guys so you don't have to, and we'll see what the results are like. And I guess the next step would be getting loaded up and heading out there for the night ride. Okay, I have got the stock headlights on here. I'm out at the stomping grounds, and we're gonna do a little night ride. I haven't been out here all year. These are the trails I grew up riding on behind my parents' house, and I'm not gonna lie, stock lights are doing better than I expected them to do. These are very tight trails, so it's not like I have a lot of room to stretch the legs. You know, this is pretty rideable, but I'm not going very fast, and that's the thing, is these have a major range limitation. It's not like you can see super far with the stock lights. I don't even know if I can go down that. Looks like it's clear. Whoa. That was sketch. Bad that I've been kind of harsh about the stock lights. This is doable. I just rode around, so it's not like you can't ride with them, but I'm excited to show the difference with the Restoquad lights. Okay, now we're gonna change them. So here are the V1 headlights installed with just the daytime running lights on. Unfortunately, the GoPro struggles a bit with the exposure levels at night, looking directly at the headlights. So here's a clip of just the flashers on. The blinkers are pretty bright at night, and I do think the idea of having full-time amber DRLs is pretty awesome. It's pretty much just rider preference, whichever look you like the most. Unfortunately, at this point, I did a battery swap, and I ended up not plugging my microphone in all the way. So the rest of the riding footage, I don't have my mic plugged in, so it's hard to hear me. I wanted to kind of keep my honest reaction to changing the lights out, so I'm just going to subtitle my comments while riding. But I try to streamline this so that it's not too nauseating to watch. It seems like the brighter the headlights I have, the better the camera will work at night, because GoPros are notorious for not working very well in dark light. So the more light they have, the better the stabilization works, and the footage just turns out a lot better. The only knock I had on these lights is the high beam doesn't do much. It does add a little bit of depth, but it's a very concentrated amount of depth. It doesn't have a real wide throw with the high beam on. So if I stop right here, maybe you can see better. Let's turn on the high beam. You can kind of see right in the middle that little bit that turns on. So it's not that they don't work. And then look at how bright just the DRLs are. It's a substantial upgrade over the stock lights. Not only do they look cool, but they work. And just riding right now, I already feel more confident with them. So much more depth range. Like, you can see so much further with these lights. This is on the low beam. Here you can really see you can see way further with them. So this is the high beam there. See how it kind of hits the trees better? Mm-hmm. So now we'll see. I haven't tested, I've never seen what those new lights will do. So we'll be able to see here. All right, here is the V2s with their sequential startup. And I'm not gonna lie, the startup sequence is super cool and it never gets old. Here are some close-ups of the V2 with just the DRL on, and they're quite a bit brighter than the V1s overall. And I also have a clip here of the sequential turn signals in action, and this should give you an idea of how bright the amber DRL output is, especially at night. Here's the low beam. You have like a really wide throw and an even line here, and then you can totally see how significant the high beam is. So we're gonna go with the low beams. Floods out really nice, but it's not projecting upward. So if you want to project up, you turn on the high beam
another level of safety. So we'll turn it on. Here's the light. Oh, look at that, dude. Look at the combination of the low beam and the light bar. So I can do the high beam, light. I mean, this is wild, dude. It's like daylight, man. It is so bright. Oh, dude, I can see so well. So, I'm gonna say right now, big light bar, very cool, dude.
Alright, here is the same yard clip compared with the V1 on top, and the V2 definitely illuminates the immediate area really well, and these clips also show how far the light bar lights up in the distance for those higher speeds. Here's all 4 light setups side by side from the same sections of the trail. You can see the V2's low beam width and brightness surpass the V1's. The only downside is the low beam cutoff line is so sharp that depending on the angle of the terrain, you can lose a lot of light range without the high beam on, whereas the V1s seem to flood further into the distance and higher up overall, and the V1's main drawback is the floodlight width in front of the machine is considerably narrower than the V2's, which is a disadvantage in the corners. But overall, both Restoquad lights are a substantial upgrade over stock, and if I didn't have the light bar, I would probably still go for the V2s for the DRL styling and their night lighting performance. Plus, if you decide you want a handlebar mounted light bar, then combining that with the V2s seems like the best overall setup. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's little test ride with the V1 and the V2 headlights from Restoquad. Both lights are awesome and a great upgrade over stock. I've decided I'm going to keep the V2s on, especially with how well the wider low beam worked with the light bar on my ATV. As I said earlier, if some of you guys could let me know some of your light setups in the comments below, I think that could help some other people that are looking for other options. Once again, reminder, we'll be at the Badlands Bash in just 2 weeks, so come see us on June 8th at the Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana. Place is so much fun. We cannot wait. There's going to be a ton of us creators there. We're going to just get after it. It's going to be an awesome time. And once again, huge shout out to our customers for buying parts and merch at PeteHager.com. Thank you for supporting us. Be sure to support Restoquad if you can as well. We're super excited to be a part of this new product line and offering from this new company. And I guess until the next one, you guys have a great one. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Dude, we are having a group ride and it is mega. It's mega. There's so many people. This is gonna be nuts, man. It's gonna be nuts. There's 50 quads. This is so cool.